Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of For the Hoard of the Dragon Queen. Uh-oh. Chat is already taking bets on if the Dragon Queen is going to win or not. I don't know if that's a bet that we can prove today, but...
What does winning mean? Does
I
that
don't
mean
know.
just getting out of Avernus?
Right.
Or does that mean conquering all of
creation,
the material plane?
Right.
Where are we setting that?
The bar. Where is the bar on that? I feel like we should probably have like an ongoing pool that grows as you all continue on and take bets on who wins. We'll figure that out as we go. I don't think that's going to be a today thing, though. Hey, I'm Jeremy. This here is my channel. Right. You never know. Past the Meeple's going to workshop it. Excellent. This here's my channel. You can see us here on Wednesdays at this time for our ongoing D&D game. Otherwise, we have some other things coming up that I'm just going to throw out now rather than at the end of the episode. This Friday is our ongoing Dagger Heart game. It is at 8 p.m. Eastern as we continue to explore the playtest version of Dagger Heart because it comes out early next year. I don't want to give too much away, but last Friday, you don't teach the goblin magical words if you don't want them to use them. I'm just saying. And this Saturday, we have what may be... It's either going to be this Saturday or the following in 2 weeks. It's the last episode of Hunter Bad Blood. It's our Hunter the Reckoning mini-series or limited series coming to an end, but it's really going to depend on how the players roll with things. And then on Sunday, on Sunday, we have Shadow Dark, Wanderings into the Dark, episode 2, which is going to be a ton of fun. We have some character advantages being redeemed, one to Ashran and one to Lemon Zest.
Ooh.
And marking that down.
Speaking of, and one to Aster.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pass the Meeple.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, hi to everyone in chat. Thanks for joining us today. Why don't we do a round of introductions? Tell us about who you are, who you're playing, and if you have anything fun coming up, just in case we don't have time at the end of the episode. Let's start with Mika.
Hi, I'm Mika. I do things. I'm a director over at Roll D5, and today I am playing Lemon Zest, who is a little kobold warlock who used to be an artificer, and he's only in the cult because to get his inheritance, but he's kind of losing his patience with the cult. So, we'll see what happens with that, and every so often his voice changes. There's an accent for each of the heads of the Dragon Queen. And it's been a bit since I've changed it up. So we'll see what I go with today.
Love it. Who would you like to popcorn it over to?
Adela.
Huzzah! I'm Adela. I will be playing Aster, who is your friendly nature cleric and bad at her job. But she enjoys her friends so much and loves her family. And as far as where you're going to see me here. And I do have a website where I sell D&D kids shirts at bellabykids.com if you're interested. Thank you. And Janelle.
Hi, everybody. I'm Janelle. You can find me all over the internet at Boss Jellybean and various other TTRPG projects. And today I am playing Ashran Laurelin. She is a Mark of Shadow Elf paladin of Tiamat, and the only person in the group who actually worships Tiamat, pretty much.
like on a spiritual level for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it. Do you have anything coming up that you want to share?
Yeah, all throughout December, a bunch of channels, including Wanderer's Haven, are going to be running a game that I wrote called The Festive 3, which takes place in a Christmassy nightmare version of Baldur's Gate, where some adventurers go up against the festive incarnations of the Dead 3. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how everybody does with that.
Love it.
Very fun.
Nice. I'm excited to have it on the channel and get to GM it. We had our session 0 the other day, and it is pure chaos. I feel like I should warn you and maybe apologize for what we're gonna do to your module.
I mean, part of the fun is seeing like how all the different channels run it completely differently. So I'm excited to see the chaos.
Nice. Love it. Well, so speaking of chaos, well, it wasn't really that chaotic last week. Last week's episode was a short one. I was losing my voice, and we did a combat and decided to call it good. So there was, as you were investigating this additional part of the ruin that was Tyrannaxis's lair, you had found, and this was just kind of by chance that you had noticed this entrance, you had found a hallway that was decorated with many dragon statues, some of which you didn't recognize as far as the species of dragons. In one of the bases of those dragons, you did find a forgotten treasure hoard. However, there was a lot of treasure in there you couldn't carry away, and therefore you kind of had to take what you could and leave the rest for maybe another time. Continuing on, you went into what was essentially a large circular domed, I'm going to give you temple as a descriptor. Maybe you figured out that it has some kind of reverence going on. And the inscriptions around were in the same ancient draconic that you haven't been able to decipher, even with magic. As you were investigating, you did find some remains of adventurers that appeared to have been maybe taken out by, well, you weren't sure at first, but after last week's battle, probably the purple worm ticks that had been scraped off by the passing of purple worms through the area. You'd seen pretty heavy devastation done to the, not only Tyrannaxis's lair that you've seen before, but this large circular room as well. That was pretty much where we left off. I think the group had decided that you were going to head to the temple, or the Tower of the Talon, where you had left Vestra. Although Ashrin doesn't know Vestra, but there's talk about how maybe Vestra might know how to decipher this scroll that you're carrying that Tyrannaxis had given you. And that's where we left off. So is there anything, you weren't here last week, so is there anything that Ashrin wants to do post this battle?
I think if we've already kind of looked around and gleaned as much as we can from this area, then she's just more anxious to get to the Tower of the Talon and figure out like what is in this scroll that we found. And she is also still of the mindset of trying to get back to Nirunvain, to show, look, I did a good thing. We got treasure. We accomplished the goal.
Right.
So I think that's like getting there and getting to a teleportation area is like a one-track mind for her right now.
Okay. And as far as the rest of you that were here last week and had already kind of discussed what's going on, is there anything that you wanted to do before you leave this ruin?
I feel like we did everything we could do, more or less. We got some treasure, which I think you...
I did. It should be in the chat. But we can go back over that later, should you need to. I do know that there was a certain loot of the bard that perhaps you were going to try and trade down the way to see if there's anything useful for your group, as it had been found in that hidden repository of treasure. Who's sirening?
Oh, that was on my end, sorry.
No, I was just curious. All right, so as the group, including Chris, who is busy making sure that there was nothing left to steal, heads back into the plains of purple dust, I'm going to have one of you, it doesn't have to be the nature cleric who has kind of been doing the survival checks, but if anyone feels better off doing the survival checks, Adele's been, I mean, not Adele, Aster's been doing pretty well at it. I was going to say last time led you astray, but not really. No, found this,
Yeah,
this
I mean,
ruin.
unless we can do a group one.
Sure.
I mean, I got a solid -1 to nature over here, so I don't know that you want me.
Uh-oh.
Like a flower or grass.
Sorry, Janelle, you roboted on us. What did you say?
Oh, sorry. I was saying, like, Ashrin this entire time, like, with plants, is like, this is a flower, this is grass, and that's, like, the extent of nature knowledge that she's
Fair.
got. Like, if it has color, it's a flower, otherwise it is grass.
So if it's green, it's grass. So, like, as you've seen cactuses and stuff like that here in the plains of Purple Dust, you're like grass.
Big grass.
Right. Fair.
Spiky grass. Yeah.
Well, why don't we do a group survival? I'm just going to roll.
Okay,
Chris.
survival. It's also a -1. It's gonna be great. Okay, that's not terrible. I got a 13.
Nice. And how about lemon zest?
Okay, let's. I just lost my character. Here it is. Survival, also -1. Oh, it's a 14.
Nice. For what it's worth, there are a couple times you kind of have to steer Chris back in the direction you're all going, as they are really busy trying to make sure there's no other like hidden caches of treasure with the 4 that I rolled, but everyone else rolled really well. And as you head in the direction of where you think the Tower of the Talon is, the day goes pretty uneventfully after this. You do have an evening of rest. Yes, exactly, Chris. I saw a shiny. Maybe, I think. So if anyone,
Long rest.
yeah, if anyone was injured during the battle with the ticks,
Yeah, I'll be doing that.
Was my character injured at all? Do I
no,
need
no,
No.
the ticks went. The poor ticks were just annihilated.
I think I'm going to attempt cure wounds on myself.
Gotcha. I mean, if you rest, you just heal
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So, are you?
I mean, is
it 'cause
that
of
all
that
that's
weird?
wrong with me, though?
Gotcha. Yeah. Sure.
Well,
Even help.
Go ahead and roll your.
That would be because cure wounds is only HP. So if you're trying to like cure like a disease or something, you
Oh,
can,
that's
like
not
lesser
gonna be it.
restoration or.
I don't have that, so never mind.
Go ahead and
Don't.
I do though.
Janelle. Go ahead and have Ashran do a perception check.
Okay. All right. Let me.
Like- I
Perfect.
imagine, you know, how you feel before you get a cold and you're like, something's just not quite right. I just
right.
can't totally put my finger on it, but this seems off.
So Ashran, as you're stepping through as you're walking through your day, you're just really focused on your goal.
Okay.
And even though you did notice,
Gotta go.
yeah, even though you did notice that Aster had been attacked and was bitten by one of these strange creatures, you're just very focused on getting from A to B. And so when you all sit down that evening, Aster, you definitely have like a sheen of sweat. You feel a little winded.
Cool.
Chris builds up a fire and then goes and sits well outside of it so that their dark vision is unobstructed and is kind of like is watching off. What are the rest of you doing?
I think Asher looks over at Aster. Is like, was our pace too fast for you today? You are looking different. Not great.
I don't feel so great. I don't know if it's something I ate. I don't know. Um, I got bit. It was a little itchy too. Um, I'm gonna
Okay.
maybe some stab will help.
Ashrin's gonna go over and use lay on hands, but she's doing it like from afar. She does not want to be touching Esther, so it's like.
Love it.
But I can use that. Where is the thing? You can expend 5 hit points from your pool of healing
I
to
shouldn't be
cure the
drinking
target
during that.
of a. I can heal a disease or neutralize 1 poisoning effect.
Okay.
So that's what I'm.
Sweet. Oh man,
Does that
it feels
help at all?
so much better.
There's definitely a cooling. Your skin begins to rapidly dry, the sweat evaporating, and that kind of weird nausea that is built up throughout the day fades away.
What do we have to eat? Thank you
Did
so
we-
much.
Did we?
I feel so much better.
That's good. What do we have to eat? Did we bring anything from the kitchen?
You were sent
I
with
assume?
some. There were some provisions that were sent with you, so you definitely have goods to
Okay,
eat, not just.
I'm gonna just
trail.
lay out like on like a blanket or something, like whatever we got.
There's some various dried meats, some cheeses, breads, fruits.
Ashrin's just gonna eat like bread. Like she's very much so a basic like I just need to eat to nourish my body person. So she's just gonna eat like plain bread, maybe like some like dried meat of some kind, and then call that a good like a protein and a carb, and we've done it.
I love that. But
That's-
Aster is going to like make herself like a little Lunchables, like a little bit of bread, a little bit of cheese, and a little like meat or sausage or whatever, and make it a little thing. And I assume there's some kind of sauce, so there'll be like little dips of sauce. It'll be fantastic.
You're all kind of getting your food ready, and then you look over, and like a good portion of it is just gone, and you're like, "Did we eat that much?" And then you hear Chris off in the darkness, chomping away at some crackers and stuff, with his, I think that would be a 23 stealth check.
Oh boy.
Is there anything you want to do during your rest this evening?
Level up.
You're getting close. I'll tell you that, you're getting close.
Would love another level.
Oh, that's amazing.
Give me my second attack.
Right? Is there any conversation that you would like to have about your goals, your dreams, your hopes? Or are you just gonna head to sleep and deal with it in the
I
morning?
mean, I feel like Lemon says his like unhappiness right now is probably he's not doing a great job at concealing it.
Gotcha.
Maybe I would like to roll with disadvantage, deception.
Against
see.
like insight?
Yeah,
Sure.
if anyone wants to.
Okay, I'll roll.
Oh,
All right.
Okay, yeah.
my first roll is a 6.
Excellent.
So yeah, that would be a 6.
Okay, insight is gonna be 12.
Aster just barely catches a hint that maybe something isn't right, but otherwise, Ashran, yeah, there's something wrong with that kobold. What is the kobold looking like?
Just like, harump, like, murph, 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 murph. It's kind of how he's been walking all day.
Ashran's gonna like go sit next to Lemon Zest and like put a hand on his shoulder, thinking that maybe like he feels like we didn't succeed enough in our goal to bring things to Tiamat, because that's the only thing Ashran could possibly be like, he's upset about, and is just, we did a fantastic job. We're going to be rewarded greatly by the Hoard. So I'm not sure. Is that why you're
I
upset?
don't know. I don't know if I want to be rewarded. I just.
What do you mean?
I don't know if I want to stay in the cult.
Oh. I don't think Ashton's ever heard that.
Is Aster overhearing this? She's just gonna give Lemon a big hug, like it's okay, and give him a lozenge, and
He takes the lozenge. It's just, I just feel like a lot's been happening. My heart just hasn't been in it, even after becoming a warlock. I just, feck. I don't know.
Lemon Zest, as you're saying this and you're talking about it, you're looking around, and it's not far from here that you camped on your way here, where Tiamat revealed herself to you. Just gonna throw that out there.
Oh boy. Wait, this is about where Tiamat threatened me.
Y'all see Ashrin panicking as Lemon says is saying he's like lost faith in Tiamat. Like she has like a little booklet that has like the symbol of Tiamat on the front, and she's like flipping through it like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I say? And she like gets like the commandments and is like, do not forgive those. Do not forgive nor forget an indignity to yourself. That seems like a bad thing to say right now. Like it's like going through. Like,
I feel like there's
nothing in this for reassurance.
Yeah, I just went for it.
Flow chart.
where it's like losing faith, yes or no, and then you go off into other directions, and like, chapter 5, bring up chapter 5 in your little book.
Ashton's over there and is like, open the pamphlet, or open the book, and there's like fold out pages for this flow chart that she's just like desperately trying to find the end to.
Roll for flowchart and see if you can help Lemon Zest.
Right.
Wait. I'm just gonna
persuasion.
I'm rolling it. I'm just rolling a d20 just for funsies. Okay, that's a 3. That's a 3 for flowchart.
I mean, just out of curiosity, what's your religion bonus?
My religion. I think that one's okay. It's a 1.
Oh,
so 4
so
for religious flowchart. Thank you. What do I find?
It was made by elementary school children.
Right.
Wait, it's literally Ashrin's from when she was in like whatever the equivalent of Sunday school is for Tiamat.
Love it. So
Tiamat Sunday school.
Ashrin's a little left without direction on how to help Lemon Zest with what you find in the book.
Okay. Yeah, she's just over there like panicking, like there's gotta be an answer. It's like Aster's doing the actual comforting.
Yeah. Aster like doesn't really care about that part, but she's excited to see Vestra, and so then she uncomfortably starts talking just about Vestra in general and her love of dragons in general, to try and just kind of smooth over everything and get Lemon thinking about, an old companion and, an old friend.
Yeah. Right, you're right. I might just be having a bad few days. I shouldn't say these things. It's bad.
I mean, that's what
Very bad.
We're here for this. It's okay. But we should see Vestra and figure out what this thing says.
Right. Yes, let's do it.
And she might know about all those other dragons that we just saw, all those sculptures of dragons. I've never seen them. I mean, not that I was paying that much attention in Sunday school. Tiamat Sunday school.
I feel like Tiamat, like, so there's 10 days, right? Instead of weeks in the Forgotten Realm, so there's 10 days and a 10 day. I feel like 5 of those days at least are like the Sundays for Tiamat, because one for each head.
Oh yeah, one for each chromatic color. That's
right.
Actually very funny.
There's blue tea a day, red tea a day.
Right. But then on the other 5 days, you should still also kind of be worshiping. They're not really days off,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
It's
They're
like in
just not
Mormonism, there's
themed.
a song about how Saturday is a special day. It's the day you get ready for Sunday. So that's how I imagine it is. It's a terrible song. I hated that song growing up. Like, bitch, no. Saturday's like my day off from the week. I don't do church. I don't do school. Like, no, I'm not getting ready for Sunday.
right.
I can get ready for Sunday on Sunday. Anyway.
I love that. So, Tiamat Sunday School, just there's a lot involved in it.
So, Ashwin, you spend the night concerned about the well-being of your group.
Yeah.
Lemon says you feel a little comforted that you're going to go see Vestra. The lozenge is tasty. And Aster, you feel pretty chill. You're pretty excited to one, you're not sweating any longer. That's great. That cold sensation that was making you sweat, which was really weird, has faded away. Also great. And your Lunchable was super delectable. So your night goes pretty well while Ashrin's over maybe muttering some short prayers to Tiamat.
Yeah, you just hear her like going over the different commandments. Like she's just like, amass wealth but spend little. Just like saying it over and over to herself.
Your wealth is Tiamat's wealth. But Tiamat's wealth is not your wealth.
That's like my dog. Just gonna throw that out there. What's mine is what yours is mine. Right. All right. So the night passes uneventfully otherwise, and when the sun comes up, Ashran, you are the first awake. Chris is on watch and tells you that didn't really see anything. There were some dust clouds off to the south that kind of like were traveling. They think maybe it was these purple worms everyone's talking about, but they didn't come closer. And as the rest of you wake, what do you do?
Ashrin like very quickly packs everything up and tries to hurry everyone to get them up and going. We got to go.
Also, the less time to talk, the less I have to worry about you all.
Yeah, basically.
Lemon Zest has gotten a good night's sleep. He stretches like, "Ugh. I had good sleep. I'm feeling better.
Oh, that's wonderful news. So let's just keep that pep in your step and let's get to the Tower of the Talon.
I feel like you're looking at me different.
No.
Deception check?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll for
Insight?
insight.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
19.
Nice one.
I have a -1 on insight. That's a 7.
Yeah. No, we're all
maybe
good.
not.
No. Thanks. I didn't trust you at first, but now I feel like maybe we could be friends. A little bit. I feel like with each accent I choose,
Yeah.
his personality changes a bit.
Like
Right.
really
Like-
schizo
Like
and nobody
this,
knew.
is that Irish accent? He's a little softer around the edges.
Oh,
Very genuinely, when you say like we're friends, Ashrin's gonna like put 2 hands on your shoulders and be like, "We are friends, and I am going to help you with your faith questioning, and it's going to be fine."
Aster's just gonna walk
Ain't that
over
crack.
and
All
give
right.
Lemon another hug. So it's like a hug puddle.
All right,
All
he's
right.
scared. Like, hesitant, like, all right, sure.
Chris
this is how I level up.
Chris is there one moment.
You level
and
from stress.
Yeah. No, from you helping me. That's how
Right.
I'll get my next warlock level.
there you go.
Interpersonal stress.
So Chris is there, like, helping to, like, break camp and everything, and then once the hugs break out, they're just gone. You have no
Yeah,
idea
checks
where they
out.
went.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Some hours pass. You're trudging through the plains. You feel like you're seeing things that are familiar, Aster and Lemon Zest. That large cactus over there is certainly shaped similar to one that you saw on the walk here, so you feel like you're heading in the right direction. And then in each of your minds, you hear, "You. Because of you, I did not place in this year's competition."
Oh, it's Dax.
Oh boy.
I was so stressed by not knowing what you had taken to Crulia that I completely flopped my flambe. The judges were so upset with me that I'll be surprised if they invite me back next year.
Can I respond to this?
Not yet.
No. Okay.
There's a pause. However, the stress that you caused Crulia also caused her to mess up all of her dishes. She also didn't place this year. And in our combined, or in our shared anger towards you, we decided to go and get a coffee.
Are they dating?
Stop.
It was refreshingly pleasant, and we have put aside our differences.
Did they make out? I hope they made out. I could use good news.
That being said, I hope that I never see you again.
Well, that's a mood.
And that's where it ends. Like, the voice just stops.
Same.
Okay.
Same
do,
seas.
do we have the we can send a message back or no?
Make a Arcana check for me.
Okay.
I want to too. Is
Same.
Adela okay?
Oh my god, I got a 0. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I got an 18. I got a 22.
Nice. So all of you jumped when this voice started in your head, and you're all kind of looking around. So let me just, you definitely feel like everyone else is hearing this. Mm-hmm. That is not how message works. Mm-hmm. And that was very long-winded. So whatever specialized version of message was just used, it may or may not actually allow you to respond. But usually message does let you respond. Is there anything that
just
you...
think of, you want a hug, you want a kiss.
It's like, I want to know if they caught a sunset or a sunrise.
You know,
or...
just miscongeniality. Yeah. I think that's from miscongeniality. Yeah.
I think it is.
I'm just saying, if they talked, then they know that we didn't bring anything to either of them.
Janelle, I love how, like, you're the one who actually pays attention to these things. And, like, in character, you bring them up.
Like you two spoke to each other.
We are innocent of any.
We did nothing.
Yeah, we didn't need to write those notes.
Despite all of our efforts, we accomplished nothing. They have
I like to
nothing
feel like we
complain about.
accomplished. We accomplished something in our hearts. Our minds. I just need a win. Okay, I just need a win.
Ashern's gonna yell into the sky because she's not really sure how this works and just be like, "You're fucking welcome, I guess."
I love it.
Aster just has the biggest smile. This is wonderful. This is so wonderful.
Oh boy.
You do all notice that he does not refer to this person as she who will not be named any longer, and instead calls her Crulia, which apparently is her name.
Also, terrible name.
Her name was
Name's the
completely
child,
her name was Crulia Childs.
Like I was thinking Julia, but I wanted
Like
to.
Oh,
Julia.
Crulia Childs. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
take
into it.
back.
I'm
It's
into it.
very
Yeah,
good. Okay.
Crulia Childs. Oh, I love her. I wish I would have known it was her. I would have tried harder.
I do want to find out what the secret was for the cooking thing, but Ashton would not care. I Janelle.
What's the secret?
Thank you.
You shout what's the secret to this guy. You don't hear anything back.
We must look insane if anyone can see us.
Right. There's just like
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
desert mouse sitting off to the side that's like,
Like,
and then runs away.
And we could be like a crystal occult, just like dancing
Where'd Adela
around.
go?
Like the age
What
of
was that?
Aquarius.
Where did Della go?
Did you lose Adela?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. That's
oh,
crazy.
weird.
That
Well,
is
You
crazy.
know, I can see Adela.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't see or hear Adela.
Weird.
Oh, no.
Um,
But that happened to
Mika.
me another time with Mika.
Mhm.
yeah. Drop out and come back because it's probably on your
Video
end.
Ninja is so weird.
It is. There's always something
There's always
that
something.
doesn't work right, no matter what
Right.
is used.
But yeah, I envision like the old shows that have, say, like everybody dancing in a circle, and it's like Age of Aquarius, and like how
Yes.
weird that looks from the outside. We're
Right.
kind of like,
I was so confused why no one else like mentioned, oh, where did Della go? And I was so
Yeah.
confused how no one else seemed to care. I'm like, guys, that's rude.
full
Jeez.
gaslighting.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So you notice Chris kind of off in the distance, continuing the walk towards the Tower of the Talon. They apparently heard it. You definitely noticed when they were standing around you earlier and the same kind of like looking around reaction, but didn't appear to care either. What do you do?
Ask for Vestra right off the bat.
Oh, so continuing on towards the Tower of
Oh
Talon?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, unless we can ask our friend Dax, like, to tell us about what he gave us, the scroll in message.
Do any of you have the spell message?
What level spell is it?
I think it's 1.
Wait, message is a cantrip, but do you mean sending? Because that's 5th.
Maybe
level?
that's what I mean.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe Vestra. I mean, obviously Vestra's hopefully going to be able to help us.
Oh,
but,
sending,
I mean, maybe
because message
Dax.
you have to be able to see them, don't you?
Yeah.
Sending.
Or is,
Sending is like third
I
level?
think sending is 3rd level, yeah.
is it 3rd? Okay.
If only you were
Third or
1
fourth.
level higher.
Oh man, I know, right? Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
The day wears
wow.
on as the group of you trudge through the desert, your clothing becoming once again stained by the purple dust that is omnipresent everywhere. You stop for lunch. You do notice what could be called worm sign if this was a certain copyrighted IP, but it isn't. Moving through the desert to the south, and Ashrin, there's a large white tower that begins to appear in what looks like kind of hills in the distance. The rest of you recognize this as you had walked away from it a few days ago. However, this is Ashran's first visit to the Tower of the Talon. As the sun sets, you notice lights in the windows, something you didn't notice last time. This is a new thing. And soft music can be heard playing as you get closer.
Like, oh my god, a party!
This does seem more inviting than I was expecting, given the name Tower of the Talon. So,
Ashran, go ahead and do a either history or religion check.
okay. I'm gonna go with religion.
Oh,
It's a hot
so the
five.
dice
It's a
are
hot
just
five on
not your
religion.
friend today. What is up with that?
They
yeah.
hate me, apparently.
Oh, it's fine. Last episode, just last week in general, all the rolls were trash.
Right.
Straight up trash.
Trash.
Even with advantage.
I will give you that you have heard of this place, and you do know that it was once a stronghold of the cult. However, beyond that, you haven't really learned much about it. It doesn't have to do with the current state of the cult or Tiamat, so you're just like, whatever. Ignored that part of my history book. What do you all do?
All right, I guess enter. Knock on the door.
As you get there, the doors are actually, like the large double doors are actually cracked open. Warm light spills out. You can hear music coming from within, and you can see the skeletons, which had been dyed in various colors of Tiamat's heads, are standing guard.
Queen. Work at Queen.
I mean, I feel like we would just walk on in there because we've been there before. People kind of know us. And we met people when we were starting to create the party. You know, like I feel like we'd be recognizable.
Question. So, I mean, Tiamat is female, but like, what if each of the heads had a different gender expression, though?
Right?
Anyway.
Was that a question?
It's sort of.
Yeah.
It's just a comment, like, could that... I mean, I guess it's easier to just say each head is female or femme-identifying, but, like, that'd be interesting to play with. Anyway. Hi.
That'd be really cool, like, if you could, you know, based on a dice roll, figure out what gender they're identifying each head is, and then how that would change, like,
Or,
a battle. Like a...
But so you
a
do
one-shot,
you do
where
have to-
each head, a different player plays each head.
Right? So I want to know how they
That would
refer
actually
to
be
each
a very
other.
fun, like TTRPG game in and of itself.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like you are all the different heads separated from each other, and so you play a different Dragonborn or Kobold, and your goal is to find a way to reunite yourself to be Tiamat.
This feels like Inside Out, but of Tiamat.
Right?
Yeah, I'm super into this. So anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like
still love this.
I feel
We'll
like
write
we
that
can,
later.
because
We'll
of
write that later.
Tiamat's like origin and kind of personality, I feel like we could make this easy. And they're all female presenting. They go by the names JK, and they're very offended by what you have said.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so I'm just gonna
Oh my god.
move on for that.
That was really good.
Jesus.
Gonna wave to the baby. Hi, Celeste. As you head
Anyway,
in, you hear the creaking of bone as the skeleton's heads turn to watch you, but don't stop you from entering. Janelle, as you're walking in, this feels very much like the hall that you walked in earlier, yesterday.
Okay.
The statues of various dragons lining this hallway. However, they're all somewhat skeletal looking or undead looking. They're missing flesh. And these are painted, maybe? They definitely have color, to the point that they look almost realistic. As you get closer in, those of you who have been here before, this is very different. There's light. It's very warm in here as opposed to previously when it was just like very chilly, even though the outside was warmer. Inside seems to have been altered to be more comfortable for those of you that are still living. As you head into the large rotunda that makes up the lower floor, warm torchlight spills out. You see people moving about, having conversations. You see the band of skeletons that played during the party that you had is playing once again, and you see a skeletal figure, maybe not quite a skeleton, but maybe not alive either, is actually like conducting them and appears to be enjoying their job. There's definitely a feel to the place that has changed from the last time you were here. What do you do?
I mean, Aster's just reminded of Vestra at this point. You know, there's this like a glee that Vestra sort of had in her, and like nods a little bit knowingly, like looking around like, yo, Vestra's touched all of it.
Hey, Vestra.
Your voice doesn't echo as you would expect it to from the last time you were here. The music kind of like drowns it out some, but you shout out and some people kind of turn, and a robed figure, still wearing the kind of cadaverous robes and symbols that are affiliated with the older version of the cult that which worshipped undead dragons, heads over to you. Are you looking for Lady Vestra?
Boy, yes. Where's the lass?
Last I checked, she was in the kitchen.
Boy,
Wonderful.
kitchen,
Can you
kitchen,
show us
kitchen,
there?
kitchen.
Oh, yeah, right that way. And then go down that hall and take a right at your first door.
Oh, thank you. And then Aster's just gonna walk that direction.
Okay. Chris
Yeah,
is
following.
You catch a couple of glimpses of Chris walking past people, bumping into them slightly, and then you just lose sight of Chris altogether. What is Ashrin doing?
I think Ashrin's kind of looking around like this is very different from my cult headquarters. Just like kind of taking all that in, but like quietly kind of just like following and not really doing much. Just kind of quietly observing this situation.
Okay. As you head down the hallway and enter the kitchen, you can see that there are several fires lit in the various ovens. Very warm in here, and Vestra has like her sleeves rolled up, is like elbow deep in kneading some dough, and she glances up and her eyes just like sparkle. Her light, like she's already kind of smiling anyway, but her smile gets huge, and she's like, "You're back!" And she just pulls her hands out of the dough and runs over and gives Lemon Zest and Aster hugs. Where's Chris? Did you find what you were looking for? Oh. That good, huh?
Yeah. Aster, you explain it.
Well, we didn't find exactly what we're looking for, but I will say you will appreciate we support love and food, and we did have an adventure, but we did end up with this scroll, and we were curious if you could help us find somebody to tell us what it says, and also tell us how you are. We're just really curious how everything is for you.
Wow, it sounds like you guys had quite the adventure. I am really excited. Scroll, you say, and her eyes kind of shine in a way that you know has her brain has been consumed by the possibility of new dragon lore.
Hello, by the way. I am Ashrin.
Oh, hello, Ashrin.
I forgot
that's
we
right.
don't know each other.
Right.
No,
So,
never been here before.
as you've been watching, this dwarf woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, I'm like, am I remembering that correct? That is wearing like this. It's a T-shirt, really, and it has this embroidered dragon on it. It isn't Tiamat, but it is a blue dragon, and there is like lightning, embroidered lightning coming out of its mouth, covered in flour, and she runs forward and just like grabs your hand. Your hand's now covered in like kind of sticky dough as she shakes it.
Okay.
So good to meet you. Where did you come from? I like your armor.
Oh, thank you so much. I am from the Misty Forest. Where Neuron Veins group of Tiamat,
Right.
Green Worm Speaker.
Right.
So that's where I am from. Are
What
you
brought
the
you all the way
necromancer?
over here?
Oh, looking for Tyrannaxis, which we did find. So that went swimmingly.
All right. Okay. So you guys, I need to go have dinner with these folks. I gotta wash up. I'm so sorry about your all of the dough. If you come over here, we could just wash that off of you, and then we're all gonna go and we're gonna have dinner, and you're gonna tell me all about this because one, you saw the brown dragon. I am so excited, and
We actually set him up with a hag potential. We gave him a girlfriend. I'm not really
What?
quite sure what the deal was.
We're matchmakers.
you all have been gone for like 4 days. How did you even?
Has it only been 4 days?
Okay, well maybe 5. Time here's a little weird, but I'm pretty sure you've only been gone for. I know it's less than a 10-day.
Like, sometimes it feels like longer.
She's like scraping dough into this muddy water. She cleans up and will grab some food for you all and leads you to kind of a smaller dining area. You can see that there are some of these robed figures in there eating, as opposed to earlier when you were here and they had like their cowls up and they were hiding within their robes. Like many of them have their cowls pulled down and there's like lamps lit at their table, and they seem to be enjoying their food and stuff like that. You do see skeletons wandering around cleaning up the various tables where maybe other people had been sitting before. Vestra sits down. Okay, Vestra, Green Worm Speaker, tell me all about this. I've only met the Black Worm Speaker so far. Kind of a scary fellow, but you know.
Neuron Vein is very charismatic. Would probably be the best way to describe.
Okay.
We're more well, he has a whole thing that he's sort of doing with a elven group nearby the headquarters, but for the most part, we're sort of in the woods grouping. It's very different from this. We don't have skeletons playing music or anything like that. So.
Oh, yeah, so this is kind of a new thing. It just really went well at the party that we threw before you all left. And I just wanted to see if we could just like kind of keep this going. And so far it is Aster and Lemon's asked where. Oh, they probably went off to use the restroom. Anyway, so yeah, it's definitely different. It sounds like this place might be like the Greenhorn speaker might really be up Aster's alley, like, you know, really into nature and elf stuff. Does that sound right?
Oh, potentially, yes. That is sort of their vibe. So, just to clarify, you're the necromancer making all this happen? Or no?
No. I'm actually here speaking with Anabraxis, the Draco Lich that kind of runs the place, and just kind of like trying to get some kind of cooperation going between the cult as it is today and kind of this we'll call it outdated version. Just trying to explain that not all dragons really want to go be undead Draco Liches wandering around, stuff like that. And so, really trying
Witchdom does tend to distort the mind.
It's true. It's true. Anabraxis has even mentioned that about how it's like maybe not like it took some talking, some really like getting into deep personal stuff, but really I feel like Anabraxis might regret having become a Draco Lich, but that's in Tuesday's session. We're going to be talking about that. So tell me all about this brown dragon that you met.
He really was more interested in cooking than anything else. Honestly, we didn't get much information from him except that he likes to put purple dust in his food, which had some narcotic effects. We did get a large chest of treasure to bring back to the Hoard, which, wonderful success. And then obviously this scroll that we can't read. So
Oh, yeah, Aster had mentioned that. Through all of this, she's taken out, she keeps pulling like little journals out of her pockets, and she'll like open them, and you can see they're just like stuffed full of like sketches of different dragons and notes and stuff like that. And then she finally finds one that has like some empty pages, and she's jotting all of this stuff down. So a scroll, you can't you read it? Like, is it a dragon scroll?
Yeah. Seems to have some sort of magical ward on it, relating to the language.
Do you mind if I take a look?
Sure. Ashton kind of looks around for wherever Lemon Zest is, because I think Lemon Zest had the scroll. But...
Lemon Zest comes back from the restroom. Oh, you have a scroll.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't find the paper towel, so I almost used... I'm kidding. Here's the scroll.
Oh, are the paper towels out again?
No, they're...
Oh, okay.
No.
Good, yeah, there's
I'm a trickster.
So Henry...
That's what everyone's always saying
Henry's
about...
the skeleton that we have like
Zest.
that does that, and like Henry just like kind of wanders off sometimes, so... So she'll take the scroll from you. She unrolls it, kind of blinks at it. That's weird. This looks like draconic, but it just kind of doesn't sit in the eye right, does it? Did you try your magic on this? She looks at Lemon Zest.
Oh, yes. I tried my language spell. Would you like me to try on you?
Oh,
Yeah, maybe you should try it. Now we're in a nice spot. There's food. We feel good. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
I can only use comprehend languages on myself.
Oh, okay.
I
That's
think,
right.
Wait, no, actually. It says self, but like... detect magic is also technically on self, which doesn't really make sense. So
It just means that so like you can see the magic.
so yeah, I'm going to use comprehend languages on Vestra.
So she's looking at it. Nope, that doesn't really make in fact kind of feel nauseous now. Ooh, hang on. Okay, so this word is Tiamat. I know that one. Oh, my eyes are watering. This is Bahamut. There's Sardior. This is a name. This one here. This is a name. I don't know this name. I don't even know how to pronounce this. But everything else is weird. It reminds me, kind of like the origin tale for dragons, the way that it's laid out on the page. But this other name, oh, I gotta stop looking at this. Whew. Yeah, it's weird. Like the way that it sits on the page, it looks like the elegy for dragons, doesn't it? And
See, that's also what I thought. Ashrin just starts like naming other draconic gods that she
yeah, yeah, you'd think that no, that's not that name.
There's
Weird.
more than 2.
Well, there's actually I guess I don't know which ones we have in this canon, but the only other one I would know of is like Null, but
Actually, I'm not sure who that is. Do tell.
it's like dragon god of death thing.
Gotcha.
I mean, I could go
Interesting.
get my book though. I could just start reading through.
Right?
Start
No,
reading
that's
through
an interesting. Let's see what yes, no, maybe die says. She says no. I don't see that on here. You know, this reminds me of something. You should see this place's library, by the way. I've been any extra time I have, I've been in there like kind of doing some research. I feel like I've seen text like this before. Do you mind if I take this and like kind of give it a whirl for a bit?
I don't think it can hurt. It's not like we can read it anyways.
Okay. Are you all heading? Oh wow. So Ashrin, are you going with them back to the Sword Coast, or are you expected back in?
I mean, ideally we would all go back to the Misty Forest. I just don't know how to get there.
Gotcha. I haven't really
Safely.
checked to see if there's like a portal there. Did you obviously didn't teleport here to the tower?
No, we traveled for quite a few weeks.
Oh.
And many people died, so I
Oh.
ideally would not want to do that again with such a small group.
Well, let me look into that. If there is a teleportation circle in the area, we can absolutely send you that way. I know that, you know, like Resmir kind of wanted us back at the Sword Coast. So I don't really know what you feel about that. If you're, you know,
I mean, I'll go with if we can travel safely somewhere else. That's fine with me for now.
Okay. And you said you had treasure. Do you want to just like, there's some like wagons outside we can put that in that are going to be teleported to the Well of Dragons. Did manage to get Anabraxis to go ahead and do some fundage, if you know what I mean. Send some tithings off to the Well of Dragons.
Sounds wonderful.
Awesome. You know, I'm just gonna go and check on this. If you want to finish up your food, I will make sure that you have accommodations. I know it's getting, I mean, it's still early in the evening, but it's really up to you on what you want to do.
Aster's going to give Vestra an extra hug and just say, you know, I missed you a lot, believe it or not. And thank you.
Yeah, she like has that really high energy, and then as you hug her, she just kind of like relaxes into you for a moment. you seen Willow?
I haven't seen Willow at all. I would love any information on Willow.
Oh, yeah. So she's wandering around here somewhere. She's kind of been in charge of like keeping the skeletons in line as far as like what their jobs are supposed to be, instead of just like standing there. Kind of ineffective, not helpful for the skeletons just to be standing. So yeah, everything's been a lot. I can't really say I have like permission to be doing these things, but no one has stopped me, right? So
This is amazing. Well, I'm going to also find Willow. We should get her around in this. Cool.
So Vestra will head off with the scroll. What do you all do?
I want to find Willow.
Okay. How about lemon zest?
First, can you hear my sister?
Yes, but it happens.
Okay.
Do you want us to come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Vestra, what are you doing?
Ashton is going to kind of just like go around and look at some of the like the skeletons to sort of inspect them magically. I don't think she's ever been around like Draco Lich magic before necessarily.
Gotcha.
So I think she's kind of just interested in seeing how that works.
So the longer you've spent in here, the more you can feel this kind of ever-present chill to the air, even though it has been warm. And like as you're in this area with the fireplaces going, you can only imagine what it would be like if these accommodations hadn't been made. And apparently that's what they had experienced the first time they came here, apparently like several days ago. And you look at the skeletons, they... Go ahead and do an Arcana check.
Okay. I got a 0. I'm using the advantage I was given because this is crazy how terrible I've been rolling. So I'm gonna roll that again. A 10.
Okay, a 10. Like you said, you haven't seen maybe the magic that has done this, but you do find as you're kind of inspecting, it does look like some of this is definitely more humanoid magic, as far as some of the people that you have seen around are probably necromancers that are beholden in some way to this version of the cult that you don't really have experience with. The cult that you were in is pretty different than this.
Okay. Just sort of cataloging that for information.
Okay. Lemon zest?
I forgot I was muted when I asked just how many times you've gotten 0 this session. So at least twice.
At least twice. I think it's been 3.
Yeah. The chances of that. So what's Aster doing?
So Aster,
I'm gonna try and find Willow.
Okay. Lemon-Zest is going to wander around until... Ideally, I want him to find something that he kind of like tinkers with so that he can have a longing sigh about missing being a full-blown artificer.
Okay. Do an investigation check.
Yeah. Investigation. Yeah. Oh, sweet. That's an 18.
Nice. You
Sorry,
actually
I've taken all your luck.
When you were in the kitchen, when you were in the kitchen, you actually saw some of the stuff that was in there that was kind of like shoved off to one side, like maybe it wasn't working, and so you head back in that direction. There are actually some various things like sausage grinding stuff and all these that from disuse have long ago since kind of fell into disrepair, and you just kind of start messing around with those. Some of the people that are in there kind of give you looks, but they saw you with Vestra earlier, and so don't say anything to you. And after a bit, you start like cranking, and what wouldn't even like turn to begin with, this like grinding wheel begins turning. You kind of spray and get rid of the various dust and rust particles and stuff, and you fix some broken gears. Meanwhile, Aster, you're walking around and not really sure where to find Willow. It seemed like Vestra wasn't really sure where she'd be either. Go ahead and make a... No, I'm not even going to have you roll for it.
You're not going to have me. Okay.
It takes you a bit, but you do find there is this like almost closet of a room that seems to be just stuffed full of skeletons that are still bone colored. Like they're just kind of bare. And you go to, like, you start walking by it, and then you hear a sneeze, and you kind of glance back, and you see kind of spread across the floor various spills of paint. And so, curious, you head in and you look, and Willow's in there just like splattered with various Tiamat color paints, and she is like painting various skeletons.
That's amazing. That's amazing, Willow.
Aster! She like kicks over the bucket that she's pulling the paint of and just like slips her way over to you. You two collide in a hug. You are now covered in paint as well.
Fantastic. There's so much life and so much color. I love it all. I love
It
everything.
is so much better than it was even like a few days ago. It was so drab in here. I was just going out of my mind. But Vestra has like breathed life into this place, which is really weird. But it's been quite the past several days. What about you?
Oh, we've had a journey. I mean, there was love involved. We found the brown dragon. They go by Dax. They found love. There was cooking involved. I found this spice that I think you would be really interested in. And Aster's going to bring out the baggie. But it's like really potent. So if we're going to have, like, if you want to try it,
like it's
we
spicy,
gotta like sprinkle a little bit on something. You can't just test it out. I did, and it was a mistake. And then I'm gonna put it away again. But we should try it. It's really cool.
Pardon me. Whew. The two of you begin to catch up as the night wears on. Vestra, as you, or not Vestra, Ashrin, as you are kind of coming to the end of your investigation, that you're trying to understand the area, you hear Vestra talking. She sounds like she's ordering some, or like issuing some various orders for people to like be doing different things, or oh, she's talking to the skeletons, and you see the skeletons move off and start cleaning different areas, and she's like carrying a stack of books that's almost like from like her arms are like at their furthest that they can reach, and like her chin is kind of like resting stretched out on the top as she does this, and she like is looking around, she sees you, and she just kind of like leans into it, and it like moves forward towards you. So I didn't see the others, but you're here, and she just plops down and sets them all just here and begins like spreading them out before you. This is interesting. I don't really know if I don't really know how to say this. Do you want to find the others, or how do you want to do this? How do you want me to tell you this information?
The way you're acting is very stressful. Could you please give me any information as to what you're going to say next?
She kind of eyes you. Make an insight check.
Okay. Uh, 12.
She kind of eyes you. You do notice her glancing at your armor, which is kind of a symbol of your station within the cult.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should all. Could you help me carry these? Let's go find like an office, just like a quiet, private space, maybe, that we could all go talk.
Okay. She's just gonna help her pick up the books.
Let's go. Let's go this way. And she leads you, and there's like it looks like a spiral ramp that essentially heads up into the tower, and she starts heading that direction. In your head, Aster, you hear, Aster, so this is Vestra. If you could, do you remember where your rooms were? Right, you can't answer back. So, I need you to go to that office that's just down from where your rooms were.
Okay.
And then shortly thereafter, Lemon Zest, you hear a similar message in your head.
Well, I'll be there soon. Thumbs up.
As the two of you and Chris end up kind of meeting around the same time, you can see inside this office, there's a fire lit. Seems like it was lit just recently. There's some candles. And Vestra is standing on one side of the table, Ashrin on the other. Vestra's looking at the various books and papers that have been spread out across the table, but every so often kind of looks up nervously at Vestra, and then goes back to like looking at what she was doing. Oh, you're here. Good. Come on in. Have a seat. Good. Yes. Glad we're all together.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't like the way you're sounding right now.
No, what?
I don't either.
What do you...
Won't clarify.
I don't know what you're talking about, but hey, so I didn't get like complete answers. I can't really like thanks for the pepper treat. Redeeming it now. Oh, she's sacked out. I'm gonna set it right here and give it to her when she wakes up. So I can't really like translate the whole thing, but I was able to find some like clues and stuff, and I think that there's somewhere I can send you that may not necessarily be in the direction you were heading, more like kind of the opposite direction. But fortunately there is a teleportation circle that can get you part of the way there, and then like the rest you'd have to, walk and stuff. But it wouldn't be the first time that we've been like walking around and stuff, right?
Why would we go somewhere else?
Well, if you want to get this fully translated.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you have in mind for us to get that fully translated?
Well, so there's a group of scholars that I think could help out with the rest of this.
And they are located where?
Oh, so do you know where the Great Woods are?
I know where the mediocre woods are.
Right.
Do I know where the woods are?
Sometimes called the Salhood. Go ahead and make call it history.
It's gonna be real good. I'm calling it now. This is gonna be my fourth zero.
Here
we go.
Oh
no, okay, 16.
You just got to call it out. You got to be like, the dice are gonna fail me.
If I tell the dice what they're gonna do the opposite. So
right. You have heard of this wood before. It's kind of east of here, northeast.
Okay.
You are like almost as east as possible on Faerun from where you came from. So this would send you further away from getting back to the Misty Wood and such.
Well, if it gets... And you think that this scroll is important? Because before we had said it was just potentially the creation myth?
Oh yeah, I think it's that. I definitely think it's both of those things. Yeah, it's both important, and I think it is a creation myth.
It's just, here's the thing, Vestra. The way you're saying that, there's something alarming about it, so.
Well, no, I don't think it's anything to be alarmed about. I just so I couldn't fully translate it, and therefore I don't really know what it says.
Why do you believe it's important?
Well, I think all of history is important, especially when it comes to dragons.
Insight check.
Sure. And thanks for the follow, Vampire Himbo. Good to see you.
I got a 13.
A 13. Hang on one sec. Let me roll a die here. Oh, okay. Yeah, there is definitely something that this dwarf is not telling you. She seems very nervous, and she keeps glancing at like Aster and Chris and Lemon Zest.
I'm going to go for a walk. And,
Oh, okay.
and Ashrin looks at everyone else and is like, tell me what the fuck she says when I get back. Because like clearly Ashrin is making her uncomfortable or something, so she's gonna remove herself from the equation.
Well, all right.
All right, so you head out of the room. Where do you go?
I don't know. I'm just walking around to buy time for
Okay.
them to have a conversation and figure out what the hell is going on.
I didn't know if this was I'm going to leave the room, but I'm going to stand outside and listen kind of moment, or if this is a
No, I think she means it. Like, she clearly can tell that, like, this person is uncomfortable around her, so she's, like, actually giving them some time with their friends to figure out what's going on.
Gotcha. So the rest of you see Vestra watch Ashrin leave the room. And she kind of, like, leans to watch her as she disappears. She waits a few beats. Okay, how well do you know her? Like, is she trustworthy? Like, do you...
I mean, she's trustworthy enough, but she's a very loyal Tiamat follower.
Oh,
I mean, which all to their own, but like, we don't know her that well, but she's been cool. She's gotten us out of jams. She's been really sweet.
okay.
It's only been days, Vestra. We barely know her.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so I don't know what this says for sure, but I have certain, like, texts here that I'm just kind of making some, we'll call them educated guesses off of, right? And
Right. Or like education.
right. Yeah, education's awesome. And I feel like
Knowledge is power.
maybe not everyone in the cult wants everyone to be in possession of knowledge that I think that this scroll says. I could be wrong. I kind of hope I am, but I kind of hope I'm not too, because it'd be cool if I was not wrong. Yeah, that one. And it just kind of like hangs there in the air.
I mean, do you have feelings about what you've seen? Because you like Tiamat, right?
I mean, okay, let's be honest. I think you all know that I'm here because dragons are cool, right? I don't really care what color they are. I think dragons in general are awesome. I kind of joined up because it gave me a lot of life opportunities to like travel around and like see dragons and get to interact with them and learn about them. I know that some of you, and she looks at all of you. Some of you have been in the cult all your lives. And I think that kind of brings a different perspective of things. I think sometimes you can be like really gung-ho about stuff when you've been in it all your life. But I feel like maybe the three of you are just kind of along for the ride. And she kind of like lets that hang in the air for a moment there.
I'm not answering that.
My family is involved, and I really just I like my friends, and I like nature, So you kind of know where I'm at with that, I think.
Yeah. So, and her face kind of drops. Lemon Zest, where's... Sorry, I forgot his name, or its name.
Lemon Blossom.
Lemon Blossom, thank you. Where's Lemon Blossom?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he leans in.
Oh,
So, I got visited by an avatar of Tiamat Al-Hail, and I'm basically mostly a warlock now.
wait. Hang on. She pulls out a stool and sits down.
Mhm.
An avatar of Tiamat.
Mm-hmm. Right.
She makes the hand sign. The avatar of Tiamat
Mm-hmm.
appeared to you.
Right.
Okay, hang on. She pulls out some of the notebooks. Again, she's like flipping through, trying to find empty pages. And?
And she kind of threatened me
Oh,
into to being more loyal. So I gave up most of my mechanical knowledge to worship her better.
okay, hang
She
on.
became
More
my
loyal?
official patron.
What does that mean? You were already her warlock, and you've been traveling around the Sword Coast, breaking into people's houses, stealing their silverware and their fine porcelain and stuff. What else does she want from you? Hail Tiamat.
That's a great question. I'm not more loyal. I don't know. She thought I was kind of lacking in the loyalty.
She gets up. There's like the scraping of the stool on the stone. She comes over to you and just like gives you a hug.
Thank you.
And she like holds you back for a moment. There's like some watery buildup in her eyes. She blinks away. Okay, look. I feel like this of all places is probably okay of a place to have this discussion because there are certain wordings around the tower that keep out unwanted presences, scrying, stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that someone you have given your loyalty to can hear what you're saying or not hear, but it might be a safe place. There are mortal ears that may have traveled with you that you may not want to tell this information to. It really depends on what you think they will do with it. But, like, I don't want anything to happen to this scroll. Or you, obviously. But this has, like, a different version of the creation myth in it. One that doesn't really paint Tiamat in the best of lights. I know that's maybe a little weird, but you know, this one makes her seem a little more jealous and crazy, I think, if what I've like read is right. And there's another like another dragon god. I'm pretty sure that's what this word is, that I've never heard of before. And if that were true, and if my gut feeling on what this says is right, everything that the cult is doing could be much ickier than I thought it was.
I think it's important that we get this translated, like fully translated, Um, and I can't say I'm 100% surprised. And I don't know how our friend will take this, but maybe she will. Maybe we'll get it fully translated so we can understand it fully, share the story, hear the story, and I mean, would there be anybody that could back it up?
Oh, that's that's a good question. Some of these texts that I'm like kind of pulling translations from, or like there's similar words in, these are like old, like real old.
We did run into a cavern that had all of these dragons that I don't like, these statues, like this cathedral thing, this temple in the ground,
Huh?
that had a bunch of dragons that I wasn't familiar with. Do you think, would you want to send
Okay.
somebody there to report back to you maybe?
No,
Like
I think
maybe there's information that we didn't know what to find, how to find it?
as you're saying this, like her eyes kind of like light up and she begins going through papers. She's like, no, I think no, that makes sense. I think because like Tyrannaxis doesn't really like come out to like show off like that he exists and stuff, right? And so I had seen that there was this that he existed, and then when I was doing some research, there were other mentions of him. And okay, here it is. And she pulls out this paper and she's kind of reading it to herself. Uh-huh. Right. So this says that so Tyrannaxis was like part of this I don't want to say it's a cult. Maybe it was a cult. It could be a cult. I don't know. He was part of this group that had this place in the desert, right? Where he was a guardian. And it looks like they abandoned it like a while ago. Probably because of the worms. But they moved it. Like it's that okay, they didn't move the place obviously if you found it. Okay, so it's still there. But like they took all of their books and all of their stuff and they went somewhere else, which is I think this place that's kind of out by the Great Woods.
Okay, so maybe we'll find some answers there. I mean, could you be a part of this? Could you send us in the right place?
I
Could
mean,
you send...
so okay, so I when I was looking to see where I could send you all if you wanted to go back to the Misty Woods and stuff, I totally was looking at other options. And there's this circle that we don't use anymore. It's kind of like on a banned list because the dragon that lives there, and she kind of like starts like kind of rocking happily. You know this like when she gets super excited about rare dragons. There's this dragon that lives there that they tried to bring into the cult a long time ago. This is pre-Tiamat. Like she or they tried
Praise
to
Tiamat.
What's that?
Praise Tiamat.
Right, praise Tiamat. They tried to bring it into the cult. This word here, she shows you, it means like mutated or misshapen is really a better word for it. There's some kind of like misshapen dragon that lives near the circle. And so it's apparently things didn't go well. And so they don't go there anymore. But it's the closest I could get you.
Oh, well, what do we do? What do we do? I feel like our new friend... Yeah, I feel like Aster she'd be down, right? We could just offer, we could ask her if she wants to go and get it translated and maybe and sort of like maybe not share too much because we don't know 100% what it
We can say
says.
we're trying to recruit the weird dragon too.
I mean, those are all options, definitely. I mean, if you really trust her and don't think that she's gonna like stab you in the back or anything. Otherwise, I could just, I can just send her back to the Green Worm Speaker if that's where she wants to go. But if like you feel like she's interested in what this says, I also don't really want her like to go back to the Green Worm Speaker and be all like, oh yeah, we found this like magic scroll or some whatever that couldn't be translated that has something to do with Tiamat, and then the Green Worm Speaker is like, well, why don't you just find that out, and then does something bad. To you.
I don't have answers to these silly questions.
I don't either. I mean, we could just, I'll be honest. There's a lot of necromancers in here, and we can always use new skeletons. So you could just be up forward and up front and be like, hey, this is what we think. I know it goes against everything that you've been raised to believe and what you've given your life over in the Cult of the Dragon. And if your new friend wigs out, then we could just add her to the collection. No one's gonna know, right? Am I right?
I kind of consider her a friend, so you don't know how I feel about that, but
you could always visit her. She won't really have a lot to say. I've tried talking with the skeletons. They don't really talk much. They're kind of boring.
I mean, worst case scenario, I'll just run away from her.
Yeah.
We don't want to murder her.
She might be curious. She might be curious, and she might just want to know exactly what it says. And I guess like anything that's written down, she could believe it or she could not believe it. We could leave it up to her once we figure out exactly what the
that's
translation
true.
is.
I mean, I'm not even saying that what this says is right, but it's information and knowledge that isn't really out there, and I just feel like it. If I were in a cult, if I were in a cult that really wanted to like control what you were thinking and what you did, the more I think about this, the weirder it feels.
Above table, I think because all of this talk and the way Lemon Zest has been acting the past few days, I think like during this conversation stuff, he feels like the last level of Artificer in him fade away as he becomes just full Warlock.
Not the other way? You're just embracing the Tiamat?
Oh, I mean, I feel like it's more Tiamat's kind of forcing him at this point, like hearing him complain, and it's like, no, you said you would worship me. And so until Lemon Zest breaks that contract, I think he's just full Warlock.
Is this a safe space? This seems like it's a safe space.
Well, I think like just because like the past 2 days he's been kind of grumpy and has said things about Tiamat. That to me, I think that makes sense. What about to you, DM?
You are Lemon Zest. You are Lemon Zest. I can't tell you how Lemon Zest feels.
I mean, like you get final say on like, sure, replace that one level of Artificer with Warlock. That's what we work together on this. Ooh, okay.
I got yes. Yeah, you should.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so Lemon Zest just feels like a little bit of him die right now, or has like the past day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My heart. Ashton, you've been out for a while. You're not really sure how much they need to be talking about in there that is taking quite this long. Is there anything that you'd like to do?
I think at this point, like, she's probably circled back, and is now, like, there's, like, a knock at, like, outside the door, like, how is it going in there?
There's like a mad scrambling of moving papers as
Not concerned.
Vestra apparently is like covering things up, and she's like, good. Are you all doing well? Yeah, we're good. How about you? Astrid, right? Astrid.
Yep, I'm doing great. Is there any clarification on what is on the scroll, maybe?
It's something we need to find out. We're gonna go to we're gonna show Tiamat, all hail, that we are going, that we are dedicated, and we're going to go find the weird dragon to translate this and to convince him to join Tiamat.
Okay, there's a dragon. No one had mentioned that part of the plan.
I mean, so it's not really the weird dragon's going to translate it. It's just so there is there's a teleport circle that I can send you to, right? And it's there because they made it so they could try and get this dragon to be a part of the cult way back in the day. And it apparently didn't want to, and things went really bad, so we don't really use that circle, but it's the closest I can get you to there's a name for it. Hang on. She's kind of like...
Well, this does sound wonderful, because if there's a dragon who hasn't joined the Hoard, and we can go there and convince them to, that, you know, that would make us look very good, so...
That is absolutely true. I don't really have a lot of information other than it's some kind of like mutated dragon. I don't know what to tell you to expect.
What do you mean by mutated?
Well, that's what this word here means. It's kind of more like misshapen.
Misshapen dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't clarify how.
I can do some more research this evening if you want to wait till in the morning to head out, and I could see if I can find anything else. But yeah, it just says this word, and she like pronounces it. It sounds a lot like Klingon.
Great. Ashton kind of looks around. Well, that sounds fine to me, if that is what the group wants to do.
I think that sounds great. I think we should translate this.
Cool. I'm gonna
and recruit the misshapen dragon.
Yes, to Tiamat.
Yeah.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
Great, good. Glad we're all on the same page. And Astrid kind of leaves like, business done. Time to get some sleep.
Do you think she's on board, or is she running off to call like the Green Worm Speaker to come and kill us all?
I think she's on board to find out what it says.
All right.
What she does with that, I don't know. But I think maybe you should have somebody make a quick copy of this. So there's a copy here.
I could probably do that tonight. It's weird because it's the magic that's on it that kind of keeps it from being read, it might interfere, but I'm gonna do my best. In fact, I might just try and like write this out myself. You know what?
Thank you.
Hang on. She starts like rooting around in her bag. It's in here somewhere. Hang on. Oh, here. She pulls out a rock and she hands it to lemon zest.
Mhm.
So this is a sending stone. If you, I found it. There's like random shit laying all over this tower. It's just like they completely forgot about these things. It's kind of funny. So if you need anything once per day, you can message me and I can message you back. But just, it's only once per day. And I'm going to draw you a map to where the fortress is that you're going to be going to. It's a little bit east of the forest and the mountains that are there. You'll know it. It's going to be hard to miss. But I'm going to write out some instructions too on probably being careful in that area, because apparently it's not. It wasn't always just a like a dragon cultist place. It feels weird calling them cultists. This group of dragons that may think otherwise than the cult of the dragon that you're in. Does that sound better? I don't know. Okay, so anyway. She's kind of babbling at this point. She's very nervous.
It's fine. No, we're right.
Also, when you leave here, and she looks at Lemon Zest, those wards that kind of keep out scrying and intrusiveness will not follow you, just so you're good with that. Like if you find this information and like someone's like staring over your shoulder through your eyeballs.
I also have this little trinket that hides my location, which might help.
Oh, well, yeah, that might help a lot.
I've got let me check real quick. It is my amulet against proof and location.
Nice.
I can't be targeted by divination spells or perceived through magical scrying sensors until I allow it. And I do not allow it.
That's amazing.
Love it.
That's great.
That was like one of the first items I got from the game.
Nice. So Ashwin, you left the room. You're wandering around. You had been given directions to where your room would be. As you walk in, there was a fire lit. A skeleton stands nearby, kind of like poking it every so often with a poker. Is there anything you do as we wind down for the day?
Just to like seal in like the Tiamat worship, because the dichotomy is so funny in this group. She's just going to like before bed, like flip through that book again and say some of like her prayers and kind of like everything's great. I've got a good group of devoted followers. Everything is fine.
Love it.
We're on brand. We're gonna go get a different dragon, bring them into the Hoard. Everything on track.
We're good enough. We're smart enough.
And gosh
darn it. People really like all of
Tiamat
us.
likes us. Well, with that, as Vestra continues to babble, concerned about your safety, Ashran prays to Tiamat and re-ups her faith for the day. We're going to call it for today. Thanks so much for playing. It was good to see you all. We'll be back next week at 1 p.m.? 1 p.m. Eastern. Yes. Time is a construct. It's a lie. Thanks everybody for watching. We're going to call it for today, and we're going to raid over, so make sure you hang out as we do. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Bye.